Good evening, America. You with the messenger of third eye knowledge, and let's get into this. As of today, Trump's cabinet said nothing as they were questioned on behalf of the people by an okay reporter of MSNBC. All 8 of them walked by and not said one word. Right-wingers and white supremacists and racists that still troll my channel. It's funny how you're sticking up for an administration and a government that no longer exists. You're speaking of a government that is based on democracy, simple human liberties, human service, and public service rights, and they are supposed to provide that adequate public service and honor the constitutional amendments and civil liberties of every American in this country. And they turn around and said, "Who, us? We own you. You're peacefully protesting on a systematic failure? What systematic failure? We rule over you. We went to the finest institutions and we know the finest people. We're white and supreme. And if you continue to peacefully protest, we will infiltrate every protesting crew in this entire country. Use our conservative right-wing media to browbeat the fuck out of rioters and looters. Tell you that's what it's all about. And tell you you're wrong when you're saying, but the peaceful protesters, what peaceful protesters? We've hired undercover agents, undercover police officers in every state, and armed them with military-grade weapons, which is, again, against the constitutional right. No said law enforcement agency shall be more or equally powerful to the military. Fuck that. We own you. So we've allowed the Pentagon and the Secretary of Defense to arm every law enforcement department in this country with AR-15s and every other assault rifle, grenade, taser, and other forms of military weaponry and gear, while you are armed with a house key and a door lock and a set of kitchen knives. And if you have one mark, even nonviolent, on your record, you have no right and or passage to obtain a license to carry in this country, besides 2 states which are extremely racist. Maybe 3 or 4. Comment down below so I can get the accurate information. I have only so much time to cover so much information. But that's to call out the right-wingers. The country you're thinking of existed 4 years ago. We've been so wrapped up with what's more important. Let's think of what's more important here, right? Let's think of what's more important. It's more important to tax the working class, provide the working class with a government and state government, and that level of state government does not have one person that made a promise that actually fulfilled that promise. And now we're going to still continue to vote state government level, for example, to make sure that they only went to the finest institutions, sold you the finest sales pitch, but never mind the fact that they might not have any public service on their record, never worked with us, never lived with us, never walked with us, never shopped with us, and never thought of us. But that's okay. A progressive would be too extreme, right? Of course, because that's America. You continuously make decisions on what right-wing media provides to you on a daily basis. Half of you that see this video, I guarantee, have no idea that your law enforcement agents are walking around like fucking Rambo. Okay? As well as piggybacking with some of the strongest military in this country on people that want systemic change and are being infiltrated by individuals in whom instigate these riots. Now, America, if you do your research, every altercation that ended with a violent altercation was an infiltrated protesting gathering with an undercover cop, a spy from the FBI, because it's Antifa. But that's okay. You can let Fox tell you that Antifa is a terrorist organization in which, through 2 hours of diligent research, have found nothing that is an organized crew and or organized existence, chapter, anything on Antifa, because Antifa is an ideal in this country, which is an awesome ideal, which prevents fascist initiatives and prerogatives from reaching any government level, and is squashed before it gets passed in any legislation in this country. But that's I don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm not Fox News, right? I'm not Tucker Carlson that marches around thinking that he's king shit because his family and him, Tucker Carlson, is the heir to the Tyson chicken dynasty. That smiles in the face of a black man and wishes that that black man would die and his people when he's shaking hands with Donald Trump and his administration, as well as the poor white folk in our community. But that's all right, because that's what's okay in this country. Everything is right wing, and you can sit in your house and only discuss leftist thinking, leftist visions, leftist philosophies, leftists shaking hands with progressives and actually bringing change to this shithole fucking country. Yes, I spit in the flag, and if I could, I would burn it on my television camera if I didn't have a family that I cared about. And I would rock my own flag. Because that's how this country was founded. Everybody bitching that you don't want violence, but it's going to get bad. Because that's what revolution is. Revolution is inevitable. I say to my protesters in my video this evening, and it's very emotional and passionate because I'm upset about it. I feel for humans. I have human compassion. I decided to make use of my time and bring information, which is now possibly going to land me a time slot, which sounds very hypocritical, but a time slot on MSNBC, so I can get some kind of platform to address the rest of the communities around this country to wake up and stand your ground and do not stop. Trump and the DOJ are now working irreversible legislature to make the matter worse. Along with these platforms of media. The only reason why I agreed to MSNBC, because they're okay with half of the stuff I say on here, because they're interested in progressive platforms and want to get to know the progressive ideal, which is completely okay with me, because progress is what this country should be fiending for. We are going nowhere but back to 1962 in Montgomery, Alabama, where you couldn't even go to the store without a fucking 9mm waved in your face. And they wave it in your face to the poor white folk if you dare shake hands with your black neighbor. That's what your fucking president's all about. And that's not what we're all about. That's not what we should be teaching our children. But the more we sit back and allow this man to continue what he's doing, man, is exactly what's gonna happen. America, if you give up this fight, I swear to God, you might as well just put a fucking barrel to your head and just pull the trigger, because it's done. That's how bad the systemic change, this is how bad the systemic failure has driven this country. It's driven this country to have members of my community begging and pleading at 11 o'clock at night to remind the American people to wake up and fight. Do your research. Do these stupid fucking videos here. And maybe you can start uniting. But no, you want to stay right. You want to stay left. You don't want to just come to a point where you can see all and fight for all of us to take our ideas and put them on fucking paper and move forward. Because the basic objective in this community should be unity and progress. Unity and progress, as well as courage and truth. Because without those 4 core principles, you don't have a fucking society. And that's exactly what the Trump administration is making an objective takeaway from the American people this year. That man is the biggest coward, liar, wannabe, failure, bitch, motherfucker that this country has ever witnessed in American politics, in the history of American politics. This man has taken democracy, law, order, checks and balances, and turned it into a fascist dictatorship in 8 fucking days. Remember that. Think of all the civil rights leaders that have come before this time. Think of all the possibilities and progress that we have tossed away because we want to let a small handful of unintelligent, unaware, uneducated losers who did nothing but bitch about their problems, found the man that sold them the right pitch, and we allowed their vote to be heard. That should have never happened. Because I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have third eye knowledge. This wouldn't be here. That's how fucking bad this president has made this country. And remember the fascist gangsterism that we are going to face until November 3rd. If there even will be voting left. And voting will be part of the United States of America. Because that man is also working with the DOJ, the Republican Party, to make sure that Democrats never touch a motherfucking voting booth ever again. Peace and love.